mean, I'm going to come back to Sid with those questions, going beyond your expectation ones. But this is, you can tell that even both of them have really been like, they've been taken to a point where the performance is just, you don't know where to look, who to get your eyes on, and the entire package looks fantastic. So many congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Parmeet, I'm going to move on to you.
Sure.
You always come with a promise. What's your promise this time?
I think my promise this time is that this mission that the producer and the director and Netflix have is going to be successful. And it's not very easy to get everything right. I believe in this film. I think whether it's the acting, the direction, every department of the film has got it right. So I think it's a complete film, and I hope everybody likes it.
Keeping your feet on the ground, and as you shouldn't also be keeping your feet on the ground after we've seen this trailer, did you have to go the extra mile? Because this is next level action.
So I think Mission Manjnu is not entirely an action film. I mean, it's tough to call that, but we do have sequences where it's extremely thrilling. It's a spy thriller for us, and I think what the writers and the producers and even our directors tried is to keep it a little more authentic in real world, where a spy would never jump out with guns blazing. It's not a James Bond character. But there are certain situations in the film where he has to resort to some extreme action. The train action that you see here was something that we are very excited about as a team. And this was my first time doing action on top of a train as a classic hero. So I loved it. I think it adds to the thrill of the film. We've done many, we shot the sequence in Lucknow, we shot the sequence in Bombay, we even did some underwater sequence to complete it, to complete the story of that action sequence. So yeah, I think it's a complete film. We're hopefully true to the genre that we're promising, and we're looking forward to the 20th of January.
Absolutely, you find a mainstream hero on a train, and I'm telling you, it's a recipe for success.
With the wind and
yes.
In 1970s, the same collar thing. I was excited actually to play 1970s. I could ape my idol like Mr. Bachchan. I think I've only seen his films. I wasn't in the 70s obviously there, but I really enjoyed it, man. I think Shahrukh has a cool look. He's got the maximum 70s, like he's got a locket which says love, and he's wearing the shades, and this guy is the most colorful one. Yeah, sideburns. सारा 70s इसके costume में डाल दिया हमने. बाकी picture में थोड़ा कम रखा है.
Movies and stories that need to be done there. I think most of the time when we're visualizing biopics and true events, it's about what you know. But I think the untold stories make even more greater cinema, make greater storytelling. And I think Mission Manjnu is exactly that. It's about a behind the scenes. It's about the people, the unsung heroes. It's about the people who actually make the difference. It's about not the true events that we know of, that we averted something. It's about the true events of things that we didn't even know about. Because today in the real world, about one event you hear, there are 399 that incredibly brave men and women around the world are saving us. And I think that to me was the bullseye for why this script, this story has a very strong fit.
I mean, and you know, the way you say it, it just makes us even more like, you know, I would almost be like, I'm restless now because I want to watch it, because it's a story which is based on true events, and at the same time, like you said, it's the unsung heroes. So we want to definitely know more about them. Sounds extremely interesting. I've spoken about it enough. Some of the tracks have caught on. We're listening to a few tracks even in the middle of the trailer. Right at the end, there's this really nice patriotic track. So that's the music of it. When we see the two of you together in a romantic track, there's, you know, as an on-screen Jodi, if you give me permission to use that word, you both look fantastic. What was it like, day one with Sid on set? What was that for you like? Do you remember the scene? Oh no, really?
No, because it was such a quick, like I think after the COVID, first lockdown is when we shot, and those 20 days, 25 days was my sked, and I remember just being on set very nervous, because this was the first Hindi film that I shot, And I was very nervous with, I didn't know for sure what sort of working atmosphere it was. And of course, every new team that you walk into, every new character that you're doing and the story that you're saying, sort of like, you have that butterflies in your tummy, right? Before you walk into a set. But I think I remember that first sketch in Lucknow was very quick because I missed it so much. We had such a blast. We were constantly creatively on a high because we wanted to sort of like get it right, you know. And I remember doing that. We had rehearsals, we had readings, and at the same time we would go to the set, and you know, it was like quick work, and yeah, it was just like so amazing.
I think it's a film with a big heart, and I think that's what really, for me, that's what mattered when I, you know, sort of saw it, when I came to know about the story. And everyone's performances have come together so well. It's phenomenal direction. And I think the most important thing is that it's a story that we all must know. It's such an important part of history, but like Ronnie rightly said, and Amar, that a lot of people don't know what's happened behind the scenes. It's one of the most daring covert missions, and I think as Indians, as people in this, citizens of this country, this film is you know, important at so many levels, but the most important thing for me is that it's big entertainment. It's big-hearted entertainment. It has everything for a family to watch. And for me, when I'm looking at stories, or we are all as a team picking up stories, it's very important that you're not just telling a story for a message. You have to entertain your audiences. And I think this film is so complete in its entertainment that I don't think once you start watching it that you can stop.
But now, possibly 50 years later, we know connecting the dots, and that's what our writers have done all the homework to make sure that we get the right balance of being authentic and yet add our flavor of you know, commercial cinema onto it to make it a streamlined story. So the character that I play or we play are completely fictitious, but the events that happen in it are real. That's something that have happened. And we did a lot of readings and workshop. I remember in my house, be it, you know, Amar, Garima, Shantanu, we would just sit down and start doing readings of the script and coming up with ideas as to what and how we can do the particular scene. Even this sewing machine right here, this old school one, possibly the same one that I've practiced and rehearsed on. So that one scene, trying to get the actual authentic way of making clothes in 1970s. And I think the rest was something that we've all tried. You know, every scene was different. Every scene had a different flavor. So we're really excited for the 20th of Jan now. For people, this is my first time playing a spy, so I'm extremely excited to see what people.
2-week, 3-week intense training, which was very scary to say, because I remember initially I had to start with just blindfolding myself. And I reached to a point where I could make like aloo sabzi without looking, lighting the, you know, everything. There was tennis ball, you know, thrown at me, and I had to close my eyes and catch it, sense it and catch it, and I had to count my steps in and out of the place I was training at and everything. So this went on for almost 2-3 weeks, and I think, and wow, that was quite hard, intense. Yeah. So, but I realized that when one of your senses are, you know, taken away, all your other senses just like highlighted, and I really, I realized this, and I think while shooting also,
your character in the film.
I'll take that last first. What drew me to this character was this is a real life character. And it's very rare that you actually get a chance to play a real life, you know, person who has done so much for the country. So it is a complete no-brainer for me to do this character. And the first part of the question, what was it first? This part? Yeah, the changes. The change is that it's getting more and more real as the character is getting more real. The direction is getting more and more subtle. There are a lot of more nuances in what an actor has to do today. So the typical Bollywood acting that one started off with has now come to, having very nuanced performances. That's what the public really loves now. So yeah, that change is pretty much, I've seen that.
तो अभी सिर्फ 20 जनवरी को मेरा ये मिशन है, उसके बाद अगर आपसे मुलाकात होगी तो बताएंगे। Only 20th Jan because
just the release and kill it this year. Yeah.